Hey guys, Yankee Prepper, and I want to share something with you this morning. I've done a few of these vids in the past, and from the beginning of my channel, I've always pointed out that prepping is a lifestyle for me. It's not something that I'm starting with at A and ending with B. It's not something that, it's not like a project that I begin and end. It's an ongoing process. And sharing these things with you really helps me point out why I'm prepping. I'm not a doomsday prepper. I'm not waiting for the end of the world. I am prepared for all kinds of emergencies, whether they be short or long term. But prepping really is an everyday thing for me. And this is one of the main reasons why I prep. Now, I got this letter in the mail yesterday. I get it once a month from my local natural gas provider. And I really look forward to it. I love to share it with my wife so she can see what some of these things that I'm doing, how they pay off. It's a great motivator for myself, but I also love to bring my kids in on this. Now, what the letter does is it lets you know where you stand in energy use compared to your nearest neighbors with an average size house like mine. Now, it does not take into effect how many appliances that you use using natural gas, and it doesn't take into effect how many people you have in your house, which is huge. I mean, the more people you have in your house, obviously the more energy you're going to use, and the more appliances you have on natural gas. Now, we have a large amount of appliances that we use with natural gas, including our cooking, our heat, our automatic heat, of course, the hot water, which is a big one with 5 people in the house. I mean, you got to take this all into account when you're measuring this. They don't. All they're telling you is this is where you rank compared to the rest of your neighborhood, and this really helps me rank myself as a prepper on how I'm doing, and it points out how much the lifestyle of prepping saves me. Now, I live, my goal is to have a prepping lifestyle, but not, outwardly or obviously live any different than anybody else. I have a dishwasher. We run it every day. My kids and my wife and I, believe in personal hygiene. We take a lot of showers, a lot of baths. We're not cutting back necessarily or losing out necessarily because we don't live, quote unquote, a normal lifestyle. We're actually living the same lifestyle, only we're doing it cheaper and more efficiently through prepping. And this is a great way to point it out. Let me read this graph off for you. Now, out of the average 100 homes that are like mine in the area, okay, again, not taking into account how many people are there. There could be one person living in, a neighborhood or a neighbor near me. But out of the average, they use, out of the 100, 82 therms a month. That's the average therm use out of 100 homes nearest to me that are like mine. Now, what my natural gas provider counts as the top most efficient, the top 20%, they used an average of 63 therms. And they consider them, the top efficient people. And then they rank me. My therm use is 47 therms. In the same month that the average guy used 82 therms, and my most efficient, quote unquote, neighbors use 63 therms. And I attribute this all to our prepping lifestyle, all of it. Down below, they kind of give you a graph to see where you're sitting, and I usually hit anywhere between 9 and 6 out of 100 every month. And where the boys are really separated from the little girls is when the cold weather starts up. You can see it here. In fact, the month before that, I ranked number 6. But last month, out of 100 of my neighbors, one being the most efficient, I ranked number 7. Number 7 out of 100 of my closest neighbors with an average house. And, I'm going to tell you, there's not a lot of families necessarily in my neighborhood. I know that. There's a lot of couples, and there's older couples, but there's not a ton of families in my neighborhood. So even with my large family and a lot of showers and baths, running the dishwasher, all these modern appliances running, I'm still, through my prepping lifestyle, I'm saving myself a ton of money and living a very efficient life. And one would be the stove. This has been a major component in my prepping plan, but it's also paid itself off many times over already. Same with using these ceiling fans. And this is actually running on battery power right now. And the bulbs in these ceiling fans are LEDs. All of these purchases, it's almost like a snowball effect. As you're prepping, it just all starts to build up as it's rolling downhill, and it gets easier and easier. And I've tried to show that. I've tried to show that even, that's one of the main reasons I put the rebuild of the truck up there. I don't have to buy a new truck. I can take an older truck like that and make it like new for a lot cheaper and without going into debt. But a lot of this comes about in the appliances I buy as well. This is a brand new Maytag Performer. I always try to buy the best performing appliances I can. And actually, I got this one. I try not to buy new if I don't have to. I bought this on Craigslist, brand new, never been used, on Craigslist for $50. This is a $300-some Maytag Performer. I got it for $50 on Craigslist, and I call that a prepper lifestyle. But we don't follow the fads with it. We just buy what's going to last and what performs the best. Another case in point that I'm kind of proud of this purchase, and I want to bring you in on, because this adds to the whole snowball, the prepping snowball. This is a GE profile fridge. Now, I don't know if you've ever priced fridges, but this is a 2000. I think it's $2,100 right now. It's a really nice GE profile fridge, and again, it's used. I bought it at a appliance recondition center. It's extremely efficient, and I got it for $500 delivered. $500 for a $2,100 fridge. And I get to put my kids' perfect scored tests up there. See, they take after me. 20 for 20, 7 to 7 on vocab, and 13 for 13 on comp. You get that from me. Some things you can't buy used, but I went out and I bought the best performing water heater I could, the best one that I could afford. I bought that about a year ago, and all this adds. This is a 70-gallon water heater, and for a big family. And all this adds, keeps the money in the bank for me by buying the best performing items that I can get. And by kind of joining modern technology with, let's say, just good old-fashioned wood-burning stove type of appliances, you know, I've met that very happy prepper medium where I can use both sides. You know, the what my parents learned in the past, and then some of the best technology that's out there. I can put them both together, and to me, that's a big part of prepping, is to be able to join those two. And believe me, you know, I'm not, my kids aren't growing up like I did. Dad just told you to put on another sweater. He kept it like 65 degrees in the house. This is the average temperature when my children get up in the morning to have breakfast in the main living part of the house. It's in the 80s every morning. And that's without my furnace on. Right now I'm just sitting here sweating. And my real point to all this is that, you know, prepping really does pay. You know, I don't think that prepping costs me money at all. In fact, I'm to the point now where it's starting to save me more money all the time. And that's really what I want to point out to you, that I'm not, you know, if the SHTF came tomorrow, all right, and there was no power to my house, I could sit comfortably and eat well with electricity, enough to run my whole house for a long, long time. But that's not why I'm prepping. I prep for today, for every day, just to show how much better I can get it. And I really enjoy it. And it saves me money. And it didn't take me any bullets to prep this way. It didn't take me any guns to prep this way. In fact, it's just the opposite. By taking care of my shelter and heat and my food and water first, and really investing in that, it's freed up a lot more of my income so I can keep it or spend it on things that I want, that are outside of my, you know, the prepping sphere. This is why I can take my family on vacations. You know, I can keep more of my money. I can save more of my money. And really, that's what prepping is all about to me. I mean, I can't see how there's a downside to prepping. And that's only one part of prepping. But then you add on, you know, the growing our own food, canning. All this helps me keep the money that I earn. It's like giving myself a raise. And as we go in, you know, whether you're living in good times or you're living in an economic crash, all of these skills are going to help you live a better life through those times, good or bad. That's pretty cool to see it like that, isn't it?
Yeah. Moon's almost full. You can see the moon a whole lot closer.
Yeah, that's a pretty good telescope. I wish I could... There it is. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
The moon, man, look at that big pock mark right there on top, man. That got hit hard.